G'day everyone, Michael Taylor from 64 Motorsport and welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Fridays. If you have some parts that you want to freshen up and give that sort of CAD plated type look, but you've only got a few parts and you don't want to have to go to the hassle of sending them off, then this might be a good alternative for you. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the type of results that you can expect using the Duplicolour Metal Cast. Because this is 5 Minute Fridays, we don't have a lot of time to muck around, so let's get straight into it. The Duplicolour Metal Cast I've used a few times on my E46 project. I've had sort of mixed results. It's really taken a bit of experimentation to kind of get close to the look I wanted and close to a plated type finish. Here's some tips that I've learnt in my experimentation with this product. Firstly, to the same extent that you would actually be doing some plating, that's the level of detail that you need to adhere to when preparing your parts. The next thing is this stuff runs like crazy. So really light coats, and particularly the first and second coat, really need to be almost like just a fine dusting so that the additional coats have something to adhere to, and build it up until you get the finish that you want. Firstly, I'm going to try seeing what type of finish I get by using the primer first. And secondly, on some of the parts, I'm going to be leaving them as a rough sort of finish and see what sort of look we get with a rough finish using the primer and then the top coat. The parts I'm going to be painting are the throttle body from my X5 and also the brake caliper brackets from my X5. The throttle body I've cleaned up and then sanded the external surface to I think about a 600 grit. So it's not like a really fine finish, but it's certainly a lot smoother than when it started. The brake caliper brackets I've basically just cleaned and wire brushed to get as much of the dirt, brake dust, grease and other sorts of grime off. But once again, I've cleaned this with soap and water, 3 or 4 goes over with brake cleaner, so I'm reasonably confident that I've got a really oil-free surface. The first thing is let's run some primer over both these parts.
You can call me stupid. Yes, you can call me sheep. You can say I'm lazy.
It's not really working out doing this in the garage. I'm having to get this spray can too close to the parts and I'm a little bit worried about it running. So what I'm going to do when I put the second coat down is I'm going to try doing it outside, but it is a little bit windy, so let's experiment with that.
Wanna break it off and go your own way. You need some time to think, and baby, that's okay.
Yeah, as you can see here, the wind is just carrying the spray away. So I'm confident I've got a reasonably good coverage of the second coat of primer, but doing it outside today isn't really working out, it's just too windy. The next job is to get some of this top coat down. Now I'm using the metal cast and they call it gold or yellow, so I'll be interested to see how this comes out on both those parts and see if there's any difference in colour between the rough finish of the brake caliper bracket and the smoother finish from the throttle body. So let's lay down our first coat of the yellow.
Of all the things that are shiny and new, I'm the dull stone at the bottom of a pool, tossed by the jealous waves of the sea. I'm not as strong as I appear to be. I'm at the deepest depths of the lake. I lay alone in the darkest place. My sorrow, dream of the sun. I just wanna be the shiny one.
So that's come out pretty good for the first coat. I'm going to leave that to dry for about 5 minutes and then come back and lay down the second coat.
Country, welcome to the city.
second coat has laid down pretty well. I don't think I'm going to need a third coat because the colour is a lot darker than what I'd have liked. I'd have liked it to have been more of that yellowy gold that you see from CAD plating, and this kind of just looks like a gloss yellow or a gloss gold. With the primer it seems to adhere a lot better, but it still needs really light dusting rather than a proper spray like you do with an acrylic. Here's the end result. This is the throttle body, and that's come up pretty good now that I've got it all unmasked. And inside, yeah, it looks a lot better than it did previously. It's kind of much cleaner. The outside, you know, it doesn't look too bad, but as I say, I'm not really happy. I think that needs to be more yellow rather than gold. It's a nice glossy finish and you don't need a top coat. It's oil and grease resistant apparently, so we'll see how this wears on the X5. The brake caliper brackets have come up pretty good, given that it's a rough finish and it's a nice glossy sort of finish. But once again, I was hoping for more a yellow rather than the gold that this has turned out. Oi! To give you an idea on the contrast with the black on the rotors that I've cleaned up, it comes up pretty good. And the calipers themselves I'm going to paint black as well, so there's not going to be a lot of this sort of gold colour behind the wheel, so I think that's probably the preference anyway. So that's the metal cast from Duplicolor. Let me know what you think. My personal preference is I kind of like the blue and the red. The red is my real preference. It comes out really nice and is a nice plated sort of a look. Not really happy with the gold, to be honest. So drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know if you've experimented with this before and if you've got any tips for using the metal cast to just freshen up a few parts rather than sending them out for plating. Drop me a comment below so we can share it with our other viewers. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, because when you do, it really helps out my channel. Now, if you'd like to see more episodes of 5 Minute Fridays, or follow the build on my BMW E534 X5, or my supercharged E46 325 Ci Coupe, then consider subscribing. But don't forget to ring the bell so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. I've really enjoyed your company today. Thank you so much for watching. But until we meet again, look after yourselves, stay safe, and TTFN. Bloody school bus. Wait for it. Thank you.